Students, welcome back to a Digital Learning. It is an initiative by a Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka. Dear students, in the previous session, we have learnt about a social responsibility towards a management. In this session, we're going to learn about a social responsibility of a management and its ethics. The learning objective of the session is to understand the meaning of ethics. At the end of the session, the students can be taught to be ethical. Business ethics is a principle, a behavior, morality, a trust, a responsibility, relationship, reliability, and choice. Dear students, ethics refers to the code of conduct that guides an individual in dealing with others. Ethics involve the fundamental definition of what is good or bad, right or wrong, what should be done and what should be avoided. So ethics deals with a personal conduct and moral duty and concerns human values and relations with respect to right and wrongdoing, concerns morals and philosophy. It deals with a behavior of individuals and the standards governing the interrelationships between individuals. What do you mean by ethics? The ethics refers to the moral principles and recognized rules of conduct that guides an individual in dealing with others. It refers to a discipline that deals with delving what is good and what is bad, and what is moral duty and obligation. Means they serve as a parameter to judge whether a behavior would benefit or harm human beings. Ethics address questions such as how is right outcome can be achieved in a specific situation, that is applied ethics, how moral values or beliefs and principles should be determined, and normative ethics, and what morals, beliefs or principles people actually abide by, that is descriptive ethics. If ethics can be classified that into a normative ethics, descriptive ethics, and managerial ethics. Then what do you mean by normative ethics? The normative refers to the norms or guidelines and is often used interchangeably with the word prescriptive. In a secure, it signifies for an ideal behavior for it to be termed as proper. A normative ethics is an attempt to analyze what people should do or what their current behavior is reasonable or not, so that the normative ethics attempt to answer a moral questions concerning what people should be do or believe. So these help in arriving at a moral standards that could regulate right and wrong conduct. Next, descriptive ethics. So descriptive ethics describe how people behave and or what types of normal standards they can claim to follow. The conclusion about the descriptive ethics of a given set of people are based on research in the fields of anthropology, psychology, sociology, and history. Descriptive ethics help in understanding how a person actually makes moral choices in a real or hypothetical situations. They also study the codes of conduct created by a professional organization to regulate the conduct of their members. Next will be a managerial ethics. A managerial ethics represent an ethical approach towards attaining corporate goals in an environment that involves other people. It is an inquiry into the nature and background of morality in an organization's setting. So managerial ethics involve examining the application of ethical dimensions to managerial decision making. While making the majority of decisions, a manager has to take into consideration who may be affected in terms of result as well as a process. Then what do you mean by business ethics? A business ethics is the application of a general ethical rules while attaining a corporate goals in the world of a business that involves other people. It is the evaluation of business activities and the behavior as right or wrong. And what is the importance of business ethics? First one, ethics corresponds to basic human needs. It is a human trait that the man desires to be ethical, not only in his private life but also in the business affairs, where being a manager, he knows his decisions may affect the lives of thousands of employees. Moreover, most people want to be part of an organization which they can respect and publicly proud of because they perceive its purpose and activities to be honest and beneficial to society. Most top managers would like to respond to this need of their employees, and the managers themselves feel an equal need to be genuinely proud of the company they are directing. So these basic ethical needs compel the organizations to be ethical oriented. Second one, the values create a credibility with the public. A company perceived by the public to be ethically and socially responsive will be honored and respected even by those who have true no intimate knowledge of its actual working. There will be an instinctive prejudice in favor of the product since people believe that the company offers value for money. Its public issues will attract an immediate response. Values give a management credibility with employees. Values are supposed to be a common language to bring a leadership and its people together. Organizational ethics, when pursued by employees as genuine, create common goals, values, and language. The management has credibility with its employees precisely because it has credit with the public, neither sound business strategy nor a generous compensation policy. And the fringe benefits can win employee credibility and perceived a moral and social uprightness can. Next, values help a better decision making. Another point of great importance is that an ethical attitude helps management make a better decisions. The decisions which are in the interest of the public, their employees, and the company's own long-term good, even though decision making is lower. This is so because respect for ethics will force a management to take up various factors into consideration like economic, social, and ethical. Law cannot protect a society, but ethics can, obviously. The students, ethics is important because a government, a law, lawyers cannot do everything to protect the society. A technology develops faster than the government can regulate. People in any industry often know the dangers, and particularly technology, better than the regulatory agencies. Further, the government cannot always regulate all activities which are harmful to society. Where law fails, ethics can succeed. An ethical-oriented management takes a measure to prevent a pollution and protect a worker's health even before being mandated by law. Increased awareness of customers. The present day, the consumers, the public expect a lot from the business organizations. They want business organizations to provide what is due to them, failing which they can adopt different ways to get justice. Therefore, it is in the interest of business organization to be ethical in their dealings with the customers and public. Also, another important point here, the regulatory bodies. The regulatory bodies such as Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, and TRAI, that is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India, have been set up to oversee business related to law compliance by business enterprises. And also, the Code of Corporate Governance for directions of companies. The different ways of making a business ethical. One way of making business ethical is to enact legislations and enforcing them rigidly. This will discipline the errant businessman, but laws are no substitute for ethics. As was stated above, a law cannot protect society always. The ideal is to make a businessman frame their own codes of conduct and adhere to them. The process of drawing a code and its adherence should be institutionalized. Such installation would involve the three steps. The first one, drawing of the code. So framing the code is a difficult task and needs to be handled with care and caution. A series of discussions at all levels of organizational hierarchy must precede the drafting. Only after obtaining a consent and cooperation of all employees, the code must be finalized and copies made. Where a company has a long history of ethical conduct, the code needs to be formally promulgated and publicly declared. Tisco is an example of such company. The next step is familiarizing the employees. The fact that the employees were consulted at the drafting stage is a proof enough that all of them are already familiar with the code. However, printed copies must be distributed to all employees. The new employees must be given copies of the code along with their appointment orders. The employees must be told about the implications of the code. This can be done by special sessions on ethical and social responsibility during a regular training programs. Implementing the code. Companies draw elaborate codes just to gain a goodwill of the public. The codes are subsequently dumped in a old file. Having an ethical code and doing nothing to ensure its implementation is itself an unethical behavior, and the code must be implemented with all genuine interest and sincerity. Finally, the social audit may be conducted to ensure that the code is implemented and its contents are adhered to. Dear students, in this session, we learned about the ethics and the different ways of making businesses ethical, and also we learned about the importance of ethics and descriptive ethics, about the managerial ethics and the normative ethics and the business ethics. The reference. Thank you, dear students, for watching the video.